Henry Kissinger said he was determined to demonstrate U.S. military power in the wake of humiliating defeat in Vietnam. He looked for a major attack to recover the ship and its crew. Quote, "Let's look ferocious," Kissinger advised. President Ford agreed. Well, they launched this thing, and in brief, it was a military debacle. The Marines that landed, they lost like 4 helicopters immediately. They got caught and pitched a firefight on this island where the hostages, they thought the hostages were there. They weren't even there. They'd been safely removed, to the mainland. And then, actually, the decision to release them had been made before the American attack had ever been launched. So, of course, the military goes crazy. I mean, when Ford got word that they were safely, recovered, the 40 sailors were safely recovered, he tells his staff, they're all safe. We got them out. Thank God. They went perfectly. The room erupted in whoops of joy. One aide said, "Damn, it puts the epaulets back on." And Ford's handling of the incident was supported by 79% of Americans surveyed by Harris poll. 2 weeks after the fall of Saigon, the celebratory media coverage failed to reveal a key fact. A major military operation had not been required to rescue the Mayaguez crew. The Khmer Rouge decided to release all 40 men before the U.S. attack on Koh Tang Island. In fact, the crew was not even on Koh Tang. They had been taken to another island and then sent back to the Mayaguez aboard a fishing boat. American troops were thrown into a brutal, bloody battle that cost the lives of 41 men, 3 of whom were left behind on Koh Tang and later executed by the Khmer Rouge. An additional 50 Americans were wounded, all to rescue 40 men who were no longer in danger. The recent war in the U.S. role in it was also absent from most stories about the Mayaguez incident. A little history lesson might have made the seizure of the U.S. cargo ship more understandable. After all, from 1969 to 1973, the United States had blasted Cambodia with 1.5 million tons of bombs. The main goal of the bombing was to hit North Vietnamese and Khmer Rouge troops, yet killed or wounded thousands of Cambodian civilians, created thousands more homeless refugees, devastated the countryside, and led to massive food shortages by reducing the acreage of rice under cultivation from 6 million acres to 1 million. The bombing enraged Cambodians and drove many of them into the arms of the Khmer Rouge, who promised to destroy the American-backed government of Lon Nol and usher in a new dawn of equality and justice. Without American provocation, the Khmer Rouge might have remained the small, mostly ineffectual revolutionary force it had been in 1970. By 1975, it had grown into such a sizable movement it was able to rout the capital of Phnom Penh as easily as the Vietnamese communists routed Saigon. The U.S. bombing had helped bring to power one of history's most genocidal regimes, one that starved, worked to death, and murdered at least 1.5 million of its own people from a population of about 7 million. So one of the things that I think is so important about this event is it provided a kind of template for a major new American story, one that became commonplace in the post-Vietnam era, a story of American victimhood. The common denominator was this: an innocent American and his people had become the victims of outrageous, inexplicable foreign assaults. These attacks, whether from rogue nations, terrorist groups, or religious extremists, were broadly viewed as barbaric hate crimes with no clear motive or American provocation. Some of the stories were about real and devastating attacks on American officials, soldiers, or civilians, from the Iran hostage crisis of 79 to 81, to the 83 suicide truck bombing of the Marine barracks in Lebanon, to the 1988 bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, to the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001. Then I go on to talk about many of the completely exaggerated and